The NHLers are going back to the Olympics for the first time since 2014. I know it's a free agent frenzy, and the ticker will continue to show signings at the bottom of the screen, but we needed to take a couple minutes. The TSN consensus, all the analysts came together. This is all we're going to be talking about all year, so why not start on July 1st? We put together Canada's Olympic team. It is the great debate. Let's get to it. As you can see, Hyman, McDavid, Point, Crosby, McKinnon, Konechny, Hagel, Suzuki, Marner, Reinhart, Bennett, Wilson, Marchand, Scheifele. You see all the defense as well. 6 players led by Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid have already been named to the team. So we have about 18 panels in here today. We're going to use them all. We're going to break it down position by position and begin with the goaltenders. Gino Reda and company, defend your goalies.
Well, let's start with the fact that going into the Four Nations, gentlemen, when we asked you guys what you thought of Canada's goaltending chances, you guys all figured it was going to be Canada's Achilles heel. Now, you guys have gotten together and you voted. You voted on Jordan Binnington, Sam Montembeault, and Logan Thompson. Now that that is the case, now that you've named these 3 guys, all of them, save percentages of 900 or better, all of them exceeded your personal expectations. Is goaltending now no longer Canada's Achilles heel going to the Olympic Games?
It doesn't have to be a focal point because we saw what Jordan Binnington did, especially in overtime. So you can't just leading up to it going, what's going to go on in net between the pipes with Canada's goaltending, because Binnington answered those questions. So it's not the Achilles heel. And I should give a little love that I had Darcy Kemper on my list, but I was overruled by the other goaltending panel. But in the end, I think it's not the Achilles heel.
I do like Darcy Kemper, but Logan Thompson did so much with the Washington Capitals, the best team in the East, and he was their #1 goalie, that I got to give Logan Thompson some love. But when you look at Team Canada's goaltending, for me, it could go like last year. It went positive last year, especially with Binnington in overtime late, like he made some big saves, but it could go the other way. So I'm still in between. I don't think it's the Achilles heel, but I'm still in between. Compare them to USA and other countries. I think Canada is a little behind, but at the same time, I think that Binnington did great. Montembeault could be a good support. And look, Aiden Hill, unfortunately, we're going to take you out. We'll put Logan Thompson in just because if we had picked in February last year, Logan Thompson would have been on that team.
Weeksy, where do you land?
I echo all of that. I think that it's going to be a strength for them. We got to start with Jordan Binnington. My man, Jordan Binnington, won Game 7 on the road in the Stanley Cup Final in Boston, in Beantown, and he was great for them last year in the Four Nations face-off. Sam Montembeault had a really big year in Montreal. He's really progressed under my guy, Marty St. Louis. And, of course, Logan Thompson, he, too, has been a part of a Stanley Cup winning team. He had a massive season in Washington, and I should say this. He was second in save percentage in the playoffs, only to who? Sergei Bobrovsky.
All right. You got, in a quick answer right now, your #1 goalie. I understand the fact you want to see what happens between the start of the season and February. But right now, as it stands right now, who's your #1 going to the Olympic Games for Canada?
Well, it's Jordan Binnington. I mean, that's my guy. He ended up doing it last year for the Four Nations face-off. Why would he not do it again heading in there?
And look, it could change because we've seen Brodeur be the #1, Luongo come in, take over. It could change, but I'm going Binnington. But the other 2 are close behind him. And at any moment, I'm willing to switch if it's not going the right way.
Weeksy?
I'm going Jordan Winnington. That's what I'm going with, Gene.
All right, going to the Four Nations Cup. Quick answer. You got 5 seconds or less. Overwhelming favorite goaltending was Team USA. Are they still the #1? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, they have 4 to pick from.
Weeksy?
Yes. In terms of depth, yes.
All right. Interesting. The first 6 players on each team was announced just 2 weeks ago. Canada did not announce a goaltender as one of their first 6, James.
Yeah, well, that is probably of all the positions, the one you want to wait for to the very end because of what you guys were talking about, the fact that you want the hottest guy. I mean, there was questions about Jordan Binnington basically until overtime of that gold medal game of the Four Nations when he made all those spectacular saves. We move to the blue line now and look at the stellar panel of blue liners. Frankie Corrado, multiple-time world champion, Olympic champion Cheryl Pounder, the great Carlo Koliakovo, and Barry Colt's legend on the back end.
Don't forget Sarnia. Sarnia,
yeah, I got traded to Sarnia.
You got traded to Sarnia?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's on my Hockey DB page.
I'm sorry,
I have a Hockey DB page.
Guy
is legitimate.
We need a computer.
Look it up.
We should say one guy who had to take out Petrangelo, who, of course, has taken himself back from from hockey because of the hips. We wish him all the best, but you have 8 quality names on there. Go.
Yeah, and basically taking a page out of the Florida Panthers book here when it comes to the Four Nations face-off. We're running it back, right? Travis Sanheim is out. Mackenzie Weegar is in, but beyond that, it's effectively the same roster, at least when it comes to the defense. Why do we feel that that's the right play for Canada, Frank?
I like that this blue line is mobile without giving up any kind of sandpaper or size, because you still have lengthy players like Colton Parayko. You still have a little bit of grit, and like the way Drew Doughty plays, he'll play in your face type of hockey. And Mackenzie Weegar makes my team every day of the week because he's such a swing guy. He plays the right side, he plays the left side, super versatile. And Thomas Harley really showed why he deserves to be there based on his play at the Four Nations face-off.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Remember, you're not on this traditional Olympic size ice, right? So now that ice is a little bit smaller. So now you've got that forecheck coming at you. Look at the forward group that you have. You have to be able to transition and move that puck up quickly to your forward group. I think this is a mobile cast that can do it. And you look at, even Doughty on this list. I thought that at the Four Nations, he did move that puck up well. His first pass was very efficient. So now when you're looking at 8, now all of a sudden you can slot him in, and there's no Bouchard here. And you look at that because he is more one-dimensional.
That's
right?
significant,
He's
though.
one-dimensional. And so when you look at the likes of, Makar, who is going to be your quarterback on PP1, you've got Morrissey, you've got Harley, you've got Theodore. You got to be able to play on both sides of the puck.
Yeah, and the one omission for me is Aaron Ekblad. I mean, did we not? Did we just not watch the Florida Panthers win back-to-back Stanley Cups?
He's the ninth guy.
Him leading the way for the Florida Panthers on the back end. I mean, you talked about all the power play guys. You need guys to kill penalties. You need guys to be physical, especially against that U.S. roster. To me, Aaron Ekblad, he's younger. He's got a good resume. I think he should be on this team.
Different rules, though, right? Four Nations was NHL.
Exactly.
We showed fighting out of the gate. There's no
That ain't
fighting when you get
happening.
to the Olympic Games.
Right.
That's very, very significant.
Yeah. Aaron Ekblad would be the guy if you think that Drew Doughty is not necessarily up to speed this year, because last year, he didn't play. But
he's gotta be on this team,
He got
though,
up to
doesn't he,
speed
Frankie?
pretty quickly. For me, Drew Doughty is on the team, but if somehow the wheels fall off, which I can't imagine is going to happen, he's just way too good of a player, Aaron Ekblad's that next player in. I would have thought last year when Pietrangelo couldn't play on that team, you were going to go Ekblad just simply because it's like the most plug-and-play type thing. They're both right-handed shots. They both play like 23, 25 minutes a night, all situations. Now, they didn't do it, but I think Aaron Ekblad deserves a lot of consideration for this team, just like Carlos said.
And look, they're all great candidates. I mean, each guy deservingly deserves a chance to play on this team. It's going to be interesting to see who they pick out of the 8, but I think Ekblad should be in the conversation for the 8.
Ekblad not there. Evan Bouchard not there.
You had Bouchard on your team?
I had Bouchard
See,
on
I
my
didn't.
team. Absolutely.
In your
James? In my hut. In my hut. In O-Dog's hut. Go ahead, James.
Well, now to the only position that truly matters, at least according to the 2 gentlemen to my left right now, and that would be the forwards. And obviously there's a lot of obvious names in this list. But first of all, the question, guys that were left out, why is it important to you that the names that we did not see at the Four Nations, Zach Hyman and Tom Wilson, why is it important to have them on your list of forwards?
Well, Zach Hyman, you look at him and the chemistry with Connor McDavid and just his ability to go get him the puck. And Tom Wilson, and I'm not saying at the Olympics we could have a repeat of what happened at the Four Nations and have 3 fights. But if there is, he might be capable of being involved in all 3 and handling who's ever on the other side all by himself. But not just because of that, James. I think if you watch Tom Wilson, and for the haters out there that just think he's a goon and he runs people over and hits people from behind, he makes good plays. He can play in all situations. He's a smart player. He can skate. He's physical. He creates turnovers, and he can score. He's a great player, and he can do it all.
Yeah, he can skate. I think that's a really important.
Very
He's used to
important.
playing with good players. He's understanding that. I think chemistry, it's a short tournament. You don't have a lot of practice. And I think we saw in the Four Nations, Connor McDavid's such a great player. It wasn't the easiest to find players that could play with him. You thought Marner and Reinhart, that makes a lot of sense. Didn't really work out that way in the end. So bringing in Hyman, a guy you know can do the work with McDavid so successfully together, and the fact that Braden Point, who would usually be down the middle because he's so great there, it's almost more important that he plays with McDavid. They had some chemistry at the moments. He can get up and down the ice and finish plays. So I think trying to build your roster, knowing in a little bit that they played together, the Four Nation, who works with who, that does factor in how you set this up.
In saying that, James, John Cooper, it was like he made assessments after the first period. What was working, who was going. So just because there was chemistry or you played with a guy, after the first period, all bets were off with that guy.
Also,
he's going to find who was going.
Yeah. Nick Suzuki making this team. I know he didn't play in the Four Nations. I know he hasn't played a lot internationally for Canada, hasn't played in the World Championships. He is such a good player. He is such a good third-line centerman. It allows you to move point out of the middle and know that as that tournament goes on, Nick Suzuki will be fine with whatever you ask him to do, score, power play, penalty kill, defense, whatever. Doesn't matter if he doesn't have experience playing for Canada at the men's level. He's going to be on this team.
Is there somebody, the guys we're talking about, Bouchard left off the team? Any guys you really struggled with?
Well, I mean, Anthony Cirelli. I think you have Bedard and Celebrini.
Yeah.
You know, could one of those two guys take a big step? Owen and I chewed on this for a really long time together. We really grinded on our picks to see who might make it on those bubble spots. It's Brad Marchand. Can you expect him to be?
Not even. I didn't do it.
Is Brad Marchand going to be what he was last year? I think we all think he will be, but there's a chance that maybe he moves off the roster if it doesn't go as well as you might want. But
Cirelli's an interesting guy. He's one of Coop's guys, and Coop, if he wants him on the team, he's going to be on the team. So,
and I'll just say this: I think Owen and I talked about this quite a bit as well, extensively. Travis Konechny. Was not sure.
I just thought he was a guy that was in and out of the lineup.
Incredibly bullish on Konechny mattering this team.
You are.
I am.
See, I would be more bullish on Mark Scheifele being a positive impact.
I think Konechny is a connector.
Right.
And I've seen him play at the World Championship with Nathan McKinnon.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
And he and McKinnon play really well together. Wherever he goes, good things happen. I would want him on my team.
We always have to have a twist when we have a roster reveal like this. And you also can't do a roster without our chief scout, Craig Button. The twist is that he has been issued 2 vetoes for this consensus roster that we have done. So
don't you dare.
I have a feeling, knowing Craig, he's not going to say, I think I'll pass. They did a great job. So let's start on D. You have a D veto. What would you like to do with it?
Oh, they disrespected you. That defense panel totally disrespected you.
Thank you.
You think Evan Bouchard is one of the top defensemen in the league. So do I. He's on this team. And the fact that they disrespected you in that manner, it disappoints me more than anything. I know everybody has their own ideas and everything. But Evan Bouchard, when you consider what he does when it matters the most, he is that good.
Wait a second, though. I think there was one day on Overdrive, he had him in the hut as one of the greatest defensemen in the league. And 2 days later, he was out of the hut. He wasn't even on the lake.
Jimmy, look at when the chips are down, the way the guy produces and contributes to winning. Take a look at it. Craig, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm with you. So, the 1987 Canada Cup team, arguably the best Canada Cup team ever, Coffey, Bourque, Hartsburg, Murphy, and Patrick. The 91 team, Coffey, McInnes, Desjardins, Murphy. Don't tell me that we need guys that are shutdown guys. These are top defensemen. Right. And you can put these guys in different positions. Listen, who you take out? Thomas Harley played 2 games. He's been terrible. He was terrible in the playoffs. Terrible in the playoffs. Mackenzie Weegar's off my team. I'll keep Harley in there because he was on the team last year.
Harley was good when he played, though. Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, he did. He did play for 2 games, and then the playoffs started, and he wasn't very good. And to me, Bouchard's on my team. And I want guys that can produce offense. I want pressure on the opponent.
Okay.
Do we get a chance to respond?
Yeah, you do. Hey, just one question, though. What are you responding to? The disrespect to O or my veto?
He disrespects himself a lot of times with his own commentary. We'll leave him out of it. But you guys go ahead. Speak on behalf of the defense panel here. We didn't have Bouchard on, and we want to re-veto.
For what reason?
Craig's
Tell
veto.
me what reason he's not on.
Well, he wasn't on the Four Nations. He wasn't at the Four Nations, and they just won that tournament.
Well, Weegar wasn't on it either, Brian.
Okay, I think the first thing has to be what is your trust factor in a tournament like that where one turnover can be the difference. He's just too prone to having those types of moments where it's a lapse, it's a loss of focus. And I think those guys that are the 8 guys there, a little more trustworthy. And Evan Bouchard's not knocking Cale Makar off your first power play unit. And either Josh Morrissey or Shea Theodore's playing your second unit, and you have a left-handed shot, so a couple different looks.
Boom. But not boom. Like, if you're talking about the games being critical, what do you think 2 marches to the Stanley Cup Finals are? Not critical, where everything overtimes and this guy's on the ice contributing?
I don't know.
You think Connor McDavid tells the coach, don't play Evan Bouchard in overtime? Wrong.
Well, listen, that's valid. I mean, he's a big game player.
They have no choice but to play Evan Bouchard. Team Canada has a choice. They don't have to have him on this team. They have
Bad
guys that
choice
they
if
might
they
trust
take
Comes
more.
that
down to
choice.
it's a one-game set too, right? You're not playing a series. This is a one-game set where you're looking at going with what you think in the balance within your lineup. You said it for me. When you've got McCarr, you've got Morrissey, you've got guys that are going to be on your PP1. To me, that is where the difference is. All of these guys can create points.
Of this debate, it's time to move on.
Come on.
We have to go.
Come on.
The defensive panel has had more than their share of time. It's time for veto. No matter what, I can't shut them up.
I think we're still talking.
Why don't you guys do an alternative panel on TSN 2 for the rest of the 2 hours? Veto number 2, Craig, if you wish, as forwards.
Listen, Sam Reinhart's playing on my second line with Nathan McKinnon, not Travis Konechny, who's off the team. I know Mike loves him and everything. Konechny's off the team. And I'm moving Marchand up. Hagel and Sam Bennett and Tom Wilson can be my muscle line, my energy, my heavy line. And Macklin Celebrini's on my team. That's who I'm putting on, and I'm taking Konechny out.
That's official.
Okay.
How you put Celebrini on there?
He's my extra forward. I get 14 guys.
But you want to connect. He's more versatile and a greater offensive
He played 2
creator.
games in the Four Nations, and Macklin Celebrini had better offense this year than Travis
No, he
Konechny.
didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Right there.
Konechny had 75 points.
He was Macklin Celebrini was right there.
Right. But you connect.
I want the
Celebrini's not
young
going to help
guy.
you penalty killing.
I want it. Hey,
You're not going to
Macklin
want Celebrini on the ice when you need it protecting
Why do
the
you
lead
say
or a
that?
close
I don't
game.
want a young guy, you're saying. You're only penalizing Macklin Celebrini because he's 19 years old.
No.
And I saw it in 06 when they didn't name Sidney Crosby. Don't make the same mistake by not naming Macklin Celebrini.
I'm well aware Taves and Doughty were really good in 2010 when they were young players. I'm well aware of that. I'm just saying at this point in connecting what he brings offensively, he can do more things than Celebrini now already.
I disagree.
For the record,
That's why I
Put
picked the
them on
team.
TSN 3, Jimmy.
forward debate on TSN 3. When you put your feet up on the table, I was going to note 2:38 p.m. Eastern Time. O has officially checked out of the free agent frenzy. And Gino notes correctly, no vetoes used on the goaltenders. Let's have a look then at the final roster. So that includes Craig's vetoes, correct? Okay, so Craig has had the final vetoes, which moves Marchand up to the second line. Travis Konechny, really good player, gets moved off the team. Macklin Celebrini gets moved in, and Evan Bouchard makes the team as the 8th defenseman. Craig, is he the 8th defenseman? Is that fair to say, or no? Okay, power play 2. He's the power play 2 guy. So there you go, TSN's Olympic roster, which will change about 87 times before we actually get to see the roster later this year.